Good evening, one and all. I am a spiteful stepper. I am tired. That's what I am. My name's Steve Marvel. I'm a survival specialist, and today I'm going to have another look on Reddit. It's probably my third time looking on Reddit for some of the questions people are asking and some of the more ridiculous answers that people are getting. So what I've done is I've done a search on Reddit. I'll send you the link. This is the link that I use. And when it finally gets there we go. That's the link I use. It's to look for the newest post, which are filtered by the term "How do I?" And there are a number of them. I think there's 3 or 4 that's come in since the last one, and a couple of them quite interesting. So, what are your most intense experience with hypothermia? Mine was 4 nights without shelter at around 2 degrees C. That, if you had nothing else, is actually quite chilly. However, 4 nights with hypothermia is going to be really, really bad for you. There is a very good chance that you're not actually hypothermic at that point. You are simply really, really cold. I can't answer this question because I've not had an intense hypothermia problem, because I have not let myself get that cold. However, I have, during rescues and during teaching, had hypothermic casualties and hypothermic clients. And it's largely because of a continuous exposure to the cold ambient temperature with inadequate clothing, because of course there's a trade-off there, and it's the point at which that trade-off is negative and you start losing your ability to compensate is where your core body temperature drops, and you end up cold. If you can't cope with that, you ultimately end up hypothermic, because it's down and down and down. Now, I'm just looking through. This guy did not get hypothermic. This guy got cold. And there's a difference. You can be cold and stay cold. And there are people saying they were moderately hypothermic when they wet, and that's certainly more the case. I remember I was consulting on a survival challenge, and these guys had made a raft, and they came out of the water really, really cold. I was very unhappy with the organization of that particular aspect of this thing, but we sorted them out in the way that you'd expect, warming them slowly. I'm not going to tell you how to deal with hypothermia in this particular episode. You can look in the book when it gets published, or I'll do it. If anybody wants me to do hypothermia, stick something in the comments and I'll do it as a separate video. Okay, so there is a difference between hypothermia and getting cold. If you continue to get hypothermia, you're going to bloody know about it. But 2 degrees, you have got to have some seriously inappropriate clothing and not light a fire without having a problem with, it's not going to be dreadful. 2 degrees isn't. I've taught at -15. It's doable without shelter if you've got a sensible sleeping bag and a fire, and especially if you're going to stay up all night, tend a fire when it's cold and sleep in the day when it's warmer, obviously. So, very difficult question in terms of wording. What are your most intense experiences with hypothermia? Mine was 4 nights without shelter at around 2 degrees. God, I've totally gone home by that point. But yeah, you'll find that most are inappropriate clothing and getting wet. That's the thing. So look out for that. That's a thing. Right, what was the next question? Smoking fish and game in the woodlands. Well, I will actually do this outdoors once because I've actually got a smoker that I made. Yeah, I've got one of those sort of steel bread bins about this big with a lid. What it's got is it's got some skewers through it, and at the bottom I put some wood chippings like beech or something, and on top of that, on the bottom rack, I've got this little tray to catch any fat because you don't want the fat going on the chips. And then you put the whole thing on the fire or the coals or whatever, something hot, so that ultimately the chips get hot and they start to smoke, hopefully without catching fire, and that smoke goes into the meat. It takes minutes really to smoke filleted fish, but the key is nice smelling smoke. Fruit Watch, always a good one. Delicious. And yeah, making sure it doesn't catch fire, because if it catches fire, you get blackened smoke, carbon on your meat, and it's no good at all. If I remember rightly, when I did chicken last, I butterflied the breast and it took 20 minutes. Have to look it up, but that's the kind of way to do it, is to have that smoky environment where it's not going to catch fire. And that can be very difficult because the fire comes when it gets hot, when you get complete combustion, where the heat and the oxygen and the fuel have got to that point where you can get flame. What you need to do is keep that oxygen down in order to get the smoke, and the smoke is what you then, with its hot smoke, you're hot smoking your meat. So it's much like making charcoal and the like. That's what the bin is for, is it makes sure that there's not enough oxygen to make fire, and the tray catches the fat, and the fat ensures that you don't get fat flames, like the fat doesn't catch fire. That's how you smoke in the wild. That's why I've done it. Right. Hello there. Let's have a look. TV series, no. Positively identify. That's always a dangerous one. The Wild Food Group that we run on Facebook, we never do identification work at all, just in case. I think we've got to the end of the line. Right, let's just see what else is. Have a quick look what we've got. So yeah, so a quick look, see what the Reddit's got. There we go. Less smoky fire. Exactly the opposite. Loads of oxygen, complete combustion. Just have it. And yeah, don't use wet stuff. Make sure you've got lots of oxygen and lots of heat, because then you get complete combustion and effectively no smoke. If that is what's going on. And one simple. I think, yeah, we definitely got to the place we were before with the whole one simple trick to avoid getting lost rubbish. Okay, so have to be looking at this another day. Surely there's another one. Surely, he says. There must be another one to answer. No, no more. Not today. Right. Any questions, stick them in the comments. Any questions at all, I shall answer them for you. And yeah, writing the book. More information soon. Can you tell I'm tired? Because I am really blooming tired. Look at that eye. Yeah, this eye. Not looking good, is it? Sleep time. Until tomorrow. Take it easy.